The lack of financial literacy ruins lives, communities, hopes, and dreams, both large and small, according to John Hope Bryant, who serves as the chairman of the subcommittee for the Underserved and Community Empowerment Presidential's Advisory Council. Mr. Bryant goes on to state some startling facts. The number one cause of divorce is money. The number one cause of domestic abuse is money. The number one reason why minorities, and increasingly mainstream America, drop out of college is not grades, it's money. The number one cause for heart disease, according to the American Heart Association, is stress. The number one cause of stress is, again, about money. I'm here to speak to you today about financial literacy in America, the issues, and what we can do to combat it. Financial literacy should be required coursework at all U.S. high schools around the country. Sociology, algebra, music, arts, science, all very important. However, none as important as financial literacy. Money and finance are an integral part of life, from birth until death. A lack of understanding of personal finances has a detrimental effect on our lives as well as our families and communities. Understanding finance, is a critical skill that all students should muster before leaving school. Success in life depends on our ability to execute good, sound financial management. Okay, where do we learn financial literacy? Where do we go wrong? How did we get there? Who are our financial role models? Traditionally, financial knowledge has been learned from our parents and grandparents. Unfortunately, our families are largely not equipped to give accurate financial advice. Many parents struggle with their own personal finances. Children largely learn by example. What example are we setting when we spend a year's salary on a car? What example are we setting when we pay interest on credit cards? When we eat several meals out every week and have little money set aside for college, savings, retirement, or a rainy day? Who are our financial role models? The examples set by our leaders we elect in government are awful examples of fiscal responsibility. Stockton, California, Central Falls, Rhode Island, San Bernardino, California, Jefferson County, Alabama, all have declared bankruptcy. Detroit, Michigan, my birthplace, was once the richest city in the United States of America, now bankrupt. Our national debt is almost $17 trillion and rising by $2.71 billion every day. Our lives and lives of our fellow citizens in this country would be so much better off if our elected officials had any financial literacy skills. The money wasted on debt interest could go to a lot of wonderful programs. It could go to education, roads, schools, disabled veterans, green space, healthcare. But it's not doing that because we do not have any. It's all going to debt. As a nation as a whole, how financially illiterate are we? Let's take a look. Let's start with real estate. Even today, after the mortgage meltdown, Americans are still putting a down payment of 3% on a house with an adjustable rate mortgage. When interest rate climbs, the house loses value. What happens then when you lose your job or you need to sell your house? The cycle of foreclosure and bankruptcy continues. Many people do not know the terms of their mortgage interest rate They don't know the rate they're paying. Americans are now borrowing more than ever, but can't explain what compound interest is. After the housing collapse started in 2008, many Americans, news outlets, and our elected leaders blame the banks and the lending institutions for all the foreclosures and bankruptcies. In some cases, there was a small percentage of people being taken advantage of by dishonest or unscrupulous institutions. Unfortunately, most of the losses were self-inflicted on Americans who lack basic financial literacy. Okay, so we don't fare very well in mortgages as a country. Let's talk about saving money. Saving money is a relatively easy theory. Americans, only 1/3 of Americans currently report that they have no savings at all whatsoever. Young adults who have children under the age of 18 living in households, 33% of them want to provide a college education for their child, but have not done anything about it. Only 21% of American homes have established a 529 plan or other educational savings account. How do they expect to pay for college? 1/3 of Americans did say they saved regularly every month, but only 12% reported they're saving the recommended 10 to 15% of their income for the future. Okay, so savings not our bag as a country. Let's try credit cards. According to Sallie Mae 2009 survey, how undergraduate students use credit cards revealed that 84% of the student population has credit cards. Half had 4 or more. 60% of the undergrads experienced surprise at how high their balances had reached, and 40% they have charged items knowing they didn't have the money to pay the bill. 84% of undergraduates indicated they need more education on financial management topics. 64% would like to have received information in high school, and 40% as college freshmen. Most of us have been in the position, I know I have, of having too much month at the end of our money. At one point, I used to take all my bills, I put them in a bowl. At the end of every month, I draw one bill out, and that creditor would get paid. The other creditors, better luck next month. Have you ever put your MasterCard check in your American Express envelope just so you can buy yourself a couple more weeks and blame it on dementia? I have. Learning about finance. I'm going to tell you about some basic financial tools right now that can help you. I am not a certified financial planner, just an everyday guy who learned the hard way about finances. Pay yourself first. Yes, I know you don't. We just discussed it. We don't have any money left over at the end of the month. But if you pay yourself first, put some money to a savings account, it'll be done, finished. You'll have it. Create a budget. Track what you spend your money on. I know it's a pain. Not really for me so much. My lovely wife does it for me. But it's the only way to see where your money is going. I'll give you an example. I fell in love with bison meat. Low calorie, low fat, sustainable. I would buy 2 pounds every week. When I realized that at $8 a pound, I was spending $832 a year on bison, my home was now bison free. Investment and return. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a penny a day doubled for a month or $1 million? A penny doubled every day would net you $5,368,709 in 30 days. If you invested $100,000 for 40 years at 8%, you would have approximately $280,000. Okay, you say, where am I going to get $1,000? Good question. The answer is, if you can save $2.74 a day for a year, you can. How do we educate our children and future generations about financial literacy? I have a 9-word answer. Teach financial literacy in all of our school systems. Currently, only 4 states say that they have a 1-semester course in personal finances. 4 states teach financial literacy in school. Why is a skill that each child will use for the rest of their natural life not part of the core curriculum? We use English, reading, and writing every day. Can you imagine not learning English in school? Hopefully you're asking the same questions I am. Why? Why are we not educating our children in school? The first reason is that financial curriculum is not taught in school is that there's a lack of educators qualified to teach it. Many educators are capable, but most are not confident enough in the subject matter to be comfortable in doing so. I say if there's educators out there that can explain calculus and trigonometry, surely an educator can learn and teach Finance 101. The second reason involves course content. Many educators believe that not enough material exists to create a class from it. Finance could easily be incorporated into a math or a science curriculum. Thirdly, oddly enough, the reason is money. Lack of money is a constant battle cry of educational systems all over this country. Maybe they could learn something from themselves. Or maybe they could learn something themselves. The money exists, but it must be used wisely. In 2009, the USA spent $10,694,000 per student, grades K through 12. The Washington, D.C. school district spent $18,667 per student in 2010. The USA spends between 25 and 75% more educating school children than the following countries: Germany, Canada, Australia, France, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Finland, South Korea, and Japan. In 2009, Capital One did a survey and discovered that 50% of teens wish they knew more about personal finances. The children want to learn this. College students want to learn it. Children want to learn it. We need to teach it. What can we do about the situation? Again, firstly, implore your state school officer, state, local school board to engage students in financial literacy. As a parent or community member, seek resources in your state and federal government. The Council for Economic Education is a great place to start. Educating youth to be responsible in financial decision making is a skill that will be utilized for every day of their entire lives. This country continues to fail to educate its citizens on financial independence. Sending our children out into the world without these skills does a great disservice to them. This skill needs to become one of the cornerstones of our educational system. The implementation of financial literacy into our high school curriculum may seem challenging, but it is imperative that we do so. The mastering of money and finance are just as important as English, math, the arts, or science. A good understanding of one's finances can arm our youth with the knowledge to lead healthier lives and improve the lives of their communities and families. I'd like to leave you with a brief quote from Mark Twain. It is said tongue-in-cheek, "The lack of money is the root of all evil." Thank you for listening to me. Goodbye now.